Hi there guys, just another quick little one here. Are you an optimist or a pessimist? There are definitely two types of people in the world. There's probably many who are a little bit in between as well, but definitely there's the optimist who always thinks that the glass is half full, and then there's a pessimist who always thinks that the glass is half empty. I was reading something funny about this lately. Somebody wrote down that if you're filling the glass, well then obviously it's half full. But if you're emptying out half of the water from the glass, well then obviously it's half empty. There's a lot to be said for it. So let's not get too technical about optimism and pessimism. But the optimistic person will always see what is there. Like you can see things clearly and you can see exactly what's there. The pessimistic person will always see the lack of what is there. So when he walks into my sitting room, he'll look around and he'll see, well, maybe it should be tidier, maybe the floor should be hoovered a little bit better. Whereas the optimistic person might come into my living room and say, oh, what a wonderful view, look out there, isn't that stunning? And I suppose that's the difference between the two. And what effect does it have on their lives? Well, it can have a big effect on your life if you are a pessimist, because usually we surround ourselves with people who are like ourselves, and maybe our influences kind of influence them to become a bit like that. So if you are a pessimist and a little bit down and a little bit always thinking maybe that the worst thing is going to happen, possibly the people around you will also be similar to that. And maybe if you can all live contentedly like that, and if you are happy with your life, fine. But if you are the optimist and you have little kids and you won't be rearing them with hang-ups and worries. They will still have their worries, of course. We will always all have our worries, but you won't be giving them hang-ups about, oh, be careful, don't do that, you might fall, or don't climb on that, that's very dangerous, you'll fall and break a leg. And you know, sometimes we can be too careful in this life. We cannot wrap ourselves or others in cotton wool. We have to let everybody live and find things out for themselves and explore their future, and we should never ever stop our children from doing things that they want to do, unless of course that it is actually very dangerous and that they would hurt themselves. There's no way. But I find if we're too pessimistic and always warning people and always warning children, they become very introverted and scared and afraid to take chances and afraid of doing things and afraid to go out in the world and afraid that they're not good enough. So it's not really a good thing to pass over your pessimism on others, or to make people too careful, or to not always to have the bad word. It is great if we could at all. Now, I am not saying that I am an optimist in any way. I'm very much middle of the road. I do have my worries and my fears, and I know when my own children were growing up, I'd say I was more pessimistic and warning and telling them to be careful. Now, within reason, there are certain things you do not want your children to wander off on their own. You just can't anymore in this world. It's not safe to do things like that. But you don't want them to be scared of doing it, so you kind of encourage them under supervision and tell them it's okay, and it's okay for them to make mistakes. I know so many children who are afraid to try things because they're afraid that they will make mistakes and then they will let their parents down. But I mean, no, the only way we learn anything in this world is when we make mistakes. You have to make mistakes to get better at everything. And if you're one of those people that never makes mistakes, it means you're also never trying anything out. So that's definitely not a good one. So optimism and pessimism is subjective, and life is subjective. It's all down to how you view it. And your view of it is right because it's the way you were brought up. It's what you think now. Maybe it can change. A lot of people say that. Can you change? Can you become optimistic if you are a pessimistic person? And of course you can. You kind of, as you get older anyway, lose a lot of the pessimism in your middle-aged years. But I think in the latter years of life, it does creep back a little, because pessimism, it's always linked in there someplace with a little bit of depression and with feeling inadequate and feeling that life isn't good. So if you could change and be an optimistic person for as many years as God allows us, it would benefit you in your latter years, and it would make you a very open-minded person. I think old people who live in the vicinity of younger people, they change with the world so much. You can see their views change from what the views they held when they were younger, and it's a good thing. It's definitely a good thing. So you have two choices. You can either view what you have in the world, whatever you possess, your family, your friends, your house, your home, and you can love it and grow with it. Or, second choice, you can view what you don't have in this world and think about it and long for it and wonder, will you ever get it? So which type of person are you? Are you the one who would like to make the most of what you have? Or are you the one who has dreams of something else and not quite happy with what you have? Because that's the difference. We all have dreams. We all have dreams of what we'd like for the future. But it's the people who just don't like what they have now that are the pessimists. So, does it matter? Does it really matter at the end of the day if you're an optimist or a pessimist? No. Does it lengthen your life to be an optimist? I don't think so, because the funny thing is, I know many people who are hypochondriacs and who are always rushing to the doctor and always getting themselves checked out and always convinced that they have something very, very serious wrong with them. And I would label them as pessimists. But the funny thing is, they go on and on and on and never get serious illness. Possibly because they're so often at the doctor, all of these things are grabbed in an early stage. I don't know. So it's not going to shorten your life whether you're an optimist or a pessimist, but it may change the quality of your life. Would you prefer to be happy with what you have? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and thanks again for watching. Bye!